Hello, all my Sawyer Knights. I'm here with a movie review for the movie Upgrade. Just came out on June 1st. And Upgrade is kind of a lower budget movie. It's from Blumhouse Entertainment, I believe. Blumhouse said that wrong. And it's pretty interesting. I really liked it. It shows a low tech future, but still kind of very sci fi ish. But it's rooted with enough realism. It's essentially the story of a mechanic who specializes in restoring old cars that are they're no longer the norm. Everybody drives these automated, specialized cars that drive themselves, and he's kind of an alumni. Is that how you say it? He hates technology. He doesn't really like the advancements of technology. He's very much against it, and he's married to a woman who's a very high up executive of this global company that specializes in the kind of stuff he's against. Well, I don't know why he married her. Honestly, it seems kind of weird. But anyway, they get into a confrontation with some thugs, some criminals. They kill her and they paralyze Gray here, the main character. And that's all from the trailer, so that's not really spoiling anything. I will start spoiling a little bit towards the end, but I will let you guys know that. I will give you a spoiler warning a few seconds before I go and talk about that. But for this non-spoiler part of the movie, it's very interesting. I love the dynamic of I love the world setting. The world building is very interesting in this movie. Like I said before, they build this very kind of low tech, but also very like futuristic movie. It's very interesting. There's a very wide divide between the technologically advanced stuff and the old school analog stuff, the old school stuff, because because with all the technology, law enforcement has become more effective. It's easier to catch people and stuff. So the criminals are actually kind of using low tech methods to get around that. It's very interesting how they do it, how they kind of address all that. But there are some very interesting character designs and ideal designs. For example, one of the villains has a gun that's implanted in his arm, and he loads it up. He loads it up with bullets by putting the bullets in his bicep, which load up the chamber that's in his forearm, where the trigger is in his hand, like his palm. And that's a very cool concept. It looks cool. It's just interesting. There's a lot of interesting kind of cyborg implants, upgrades, as you would say, in the movie between different characters. And that's basically the idea of the movie. At the core of the movie is a revenge. It's a revenge thriller of a man who's lost everything, and he's given a chance to try to get some kind of revenge by being implanted with a upgrade in his spine that gives him, enhanced speed and choreographically and the ability to anticipate, and he gives him a computer mind that shares his mind and that can help him figure stuff out. Very cool. Now, some of that may seem very kind of generic, but the way it's done in the movie is refreshing. It's in a refreshing way. It's got a refreshing tone to it. I will say the pacing is a little slow at the beginning. It's you kind of feel the time. You feel the run time at the beginning, and but it's telling your story. It's not boring per se. It just you definitely feel that you're sitting there watching these slower moments. But once it picks up around the second or third act, it really starts becoming incredibly intense, incredibly crazy, and that's when you start losing time. You start like, oh man, it's already over. You want more by the time it ends, and I think that's a good way to do it. So yeah, definitely a fun, fast-paced, action-intense movie with some really gruesome stuff, some gruesome kills and stuff. A few really interesting plot twists. A couple of the plot twists are kind of predictable. You kind of see them coming, especially if you're an avid movie watcher and you watch a lot of movies, or you consume a lot of media, books, TV, whatever, comic books. But there are a few twists that you probably won't see coming that were a bit more interesting and fun. And when those pop up, you're like, man, So I definitely recommend this movie. I don't think it's getting a whole lot of exposure. I don't think a whole lot of people know about it. So you definitely need to check it out and support it. It's a really fun action sci-fi movie, revenge drama. Okay, so the rest of the review will be spoiler heavy. So if you have not seen this movie and you do want to see it and be unspoiled, pretty much stop the video now. Just go ahead and stop it. I'll give you a countdown to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Now I don't care about if you haven't been spoiled yet. Let's spoil this bitch. So this movie was really cool. I enjoyed it. I said that already. I think the villain Fisk was a little kind of. The actor was good, but I feel like they didn't do enough with it. The final fight was cool, but I think it could have went on a little longer. I think the way he's taken out is a little anti-dramatic, but I did like the fight. I thought the final fight was really well done and very well choreographed. This movie has some great fights choreographically. It feels very like the way the camera work. It's really interesting camera work, and it's really interesting fight choreographically. You put those two together and you just get a really unique cinema experience. And I love one other thing I really love about this movie is the idea that nobody actually knows that he has the upgrade, because he has to sign like a an agreement that he won't tell anybody about it, because it's kind of like experimental, unethical technology. So he has to walk around, he has to stay in the wheelchair and act like he's a paralytic throughout the movie to everybody. But at night, whatever, he goes out and tracks down these killers as his fully upgraded body. So I kind of like that. It's almost like he has a secret identity, by day he's this wheelchair bound, victim. At night he's this badass upgraded, soldier guy, or badass. And I really like that. I thought it was a cool concept. Like he uses that card a lot in the movie. He's like, I couldn't have been at that murder site. I mean, I'm in a wheelchair. How the hell would I have, went out there and killed that dude? Like I love how he does everything. I really love how he's so against technology. And you really see it, like the actor does a good job of just playing this guy who doesn't really understand what's going on. He's just following the motions. Like the scene where he's actually trying to kill himself by telling the computer machine in his house to give him medicine, and he keeps telling the machine to give him medicine, and eventually the machine's like, I cannot give you any more. It could kill you. And then the guy's like, more, you did it wrong. Or I love that scene. It was very intense. I think the movie does a really good job of basically showing the man happy at the beginning, like we see it all the time. You see a happy-go-lucky family, and then it gets horribly destroyed. And then you see him drop into this downward spiral. I love seeing the scene where his mom she has to bathe him and she has to shave him and all this stuff because he can't do it himself. He doesn't have the ability to, and he's so against machinery and she knows that he's so against machinery that she just volunteers to do it for him. Just so he can still have a little bit of, humanity in him, I guess. And it was really interesting. It was very touching, very emotional scene to have in the middle of this, like, dramatic, intense ball-to-wall action movie. And so, the twist at the end, though, is really good. I really enjoyed how he... I definitely saw that Aaron was the one who implanted, that got his wife killed. I totally knew that was coming. Like, I saw that from a mile away. That he hired the mercenaries or whatever to hurt Gray so that Gray would need to get the upgrade. I saw that coming. But what I didn't see coming was that the reveal that Aaron is actually not the mastermind. Yes, he put all this in motion, but the person who actually planned it was Stem himself, the AI. I love finding out that the AI that's been inside of Gray the whole movie, been helping Gray the entire movie, was the one that declared that his wife had to die and he had to get paralyzed in order for Stem to be able to put himself inside of Gray. It's this gigantic master plan that all makes sense once they're telling you about it. And I love how Stem, it was a great reveal, like finding out that Stem has been evolving more and more, and figuring out how to make up this master plan, and he's using all these humans as puppets, literally and figuratively, in order to basically evolve. He wants to evolve. He wants to have a body, and he decided that Gray was the perfect body. I don't know if it's. I get the feeling it might have been just because Gray was open about being against technology, and I guess Stem was like, oh, that's ironic enough. But I really liked that reveal, and it was really cool. And I love how at the end, you have Gray is trying to fight Stem. The whole movie he's been letting Stem do all the work. And at the end, he realizes that he has no control over his body anymore, and he has to fight back. And he's trying his hardest to try to keep Stem from killing the detective, who's like a good character. And and I just thought it was so well done because Gray is fighting, and I totally thought that Gray was going to force his body to shoot himself. I thought that's how it was going to end. I thought it was going to be like. He's not gonna relinquish control. He's just gonna end it all, because he is suicidal in the movie. Like you would see at the beginning that he wants to, as he says, flip the switch off. So I thought that was how it was going to end, but no, we don't end that way. We end with Stem winning. The villain of the movie, the mastermind villain of the movie, wins at the end. You know, he shoots the detective, kills her, he kills his creator, and he basically forces Gray. He forces Gray's mind to be so broken that Gray is in the back of his memories, and Stem has complete control over the body. And we just see that epic badass moment where Stem walks, you know, just walking, and he has such confidence on his face. And then but before that, because basically I got a little ahead of myself there for a second. I really love how they do the whole thing where, you know, Gray pulls the trigger on the gun, and you think that, you know, Gray has killed himself, and then Gray wakes up in the hospital bed, and his wife is there, and the first thing I'm thinking is like, no, they did not just pull it was all a dream on me. I was getting so pissed at that for a second. I was like, please don't let this just be it was all a dream thing. So, but we realized it's not all a dream. That it's basically the events did happen, and that Stem has found the way Stem wins is by locking Gray into his own mind, giving him this kind of perfect, almost like a VR experience within his own mind. Like Gray gets to live with his wife in his mind, and not be privy to all the stuff that Stem is doing within his body, which I think was a perfect way to end it, because earlier in the movie, this hacker character makes a remark, or Gray makes a remark about these people that are in virtual reality, and then they've been in virtual reality for like days, and he's like, why would somebody ever want to, you know, live in a fake world? Is beyond me. I'll never understand that. And the hacker lady, she's like, you know, a fake world is much less painful than a real world, and it's a very interesting response to that, and you kind of see that Gray kind of resonates with it when she says that. And so I love how at the end of the movie, you have Gray living in a VR world. He's living in a much less painful world in the real world, but it's not real, and I love that. And I love that, you know, that Stem says that line again. He repeats it. He's like, you know, living in a fake world is better than is less painful than living in a real world. I love the way it all kind of comes together, has this a little bit of ironicity to it, and this is not a happy movie. This is not a happy ending. It's totally. Well, that's it for my movie review. Let me know what you guys think. Don't give spoilers out, even though I did give spoilers out in the back half of this video. Don't comment with them, because it will ruin it for people that were watching this as a spoiler-free review, like the first half. So yeah, don't just, you know, try not to spoil anything about the movie in the comments, please. And as always, I appreciate everybody watching these videos, everybody commenting, you know, liking, sharing if you can. Yeah, see you guys later, and you know, have fun with your upgrades.